When you hear the word technology, what comes to mind? What if I asked you to envision a technologically advanced society? Did you envision society like this? Or was it more like this one? What if I told you that both of these societies are equally technologically advanced, but have simply applied technology different? Technology is more broadly defined as organized knowledge applied toward achieving a goal. And throughout history, there have been two very different ways of applying that knowledge. The first seeks to understand nature, to observe reality, to learn how things work, and then align human behavior with those realities. The second seeks to control nature, to reshape the environment, to bend reality toward human desires. Both approaches have transformed civilization, but they begin with very different assumptions. One asks, how do I live in harmony with nature? The other asks, how do I make nature conform to my wishes? Long before computers existed, human beings were already developing technologies. Agriculture was a technology. Medicine was a technology. Navigation was a technology. Even philosophy was a technology. Each represented organized knowledge applied to life. The goal here wasn't to command the environment, but to understand it. The farmers learned the seasons. The sailors learned the winds. The physicians learned the body. The more accurately they understood reality, the more successful they became. Progress emerged through alignment, not domination, and in many ways, this principle remains true today. A healthy person is not someone who defeats biology. A healthy person is someone who understands biology and works with it. Modern technology often approaches the problem differently. Instead of adapting ourselves to reality, we increasingly adapt reality to ourselves. We modify environments, manipulate genetics, engineer ecosystems, build artificial worlds, and seek to modify ourselves. This is where futurists like Kurzweil enter the discussion. Ray argues that humanity's next great leap will come through merging with technology itself. The tool will no longer remain external. The tool will become part of the user. But it raises an important question. Are we enhancing ourselves to better understand reality, or are we enhancing ourselves to gain greater control over it? Because those are not necessarily the same things. History has shown us that each time humanity arrives at a groundbreaking solution, the solution itself creates problems. Agriculture created civilization. It also created hierarchy and large-scale warfare. Industrialization created abundance. It also created pollution. The internet created global communication. It also created misinformation at unprecedented scale. Every increase in capabilities introduces new responsibilities, which suggests something profound. Perhaps progress is not simply accumulation of power. Perhaps progress is the accumulation of wisdom alongside power. Without wisdom, power becomes dangerous. Without restraint, capability becomes destructive. Without understanding, intelligence becomes directionless. And this brings us back to the central question. If humanity becomes 1,000 times smarter, what comes next? What is the destination? A more powerful civilization? A more efficient civilization? A more complex civilization? Perhaps all three. But are those the same as a better civilization? Because ultimately, every discussion about intelligence, technology, and progress depends upon a deeper assumption, an assumption about what human life is actually for. If the goal is endless capabilities, then becoming 1,000 times smarter makes perfect sense. If the goal is happiness, fulfillment, wisdom, peace, or meaning, the answer becomes far less obvious. And this is where many technological discussions quietly become philosophical discussions, because eventually every roadmap reaches the same question. Not what can we build, but what should we build? Ray Kurzweil may be right. Humanity may one day merge with artificial intelligence. We may become thousands or even millions of times smarter than we are today. The future he describes may arrive, but before we decide whether that future is desirable, we must first address the fundamentals. What is the purpose? What is the goal? What is all of this for? Because intelligence can tell us how to reach a destination, but intelligence alone cannot tell us which destination is worth reaching. And perhaps that has been the hidden theme of this entire series. Not whether humanity can become smarter, but whether humanity knows what it wants to become. Do we actually want to move forward, or do we just want to move faster?